AITA for choosing my husband's happiness over other wives' ultimatum. Obligatory throwaway, because I don't want this tied to my main account. Background. I've been with my husband for 6 years total, married for 2. We have no children, and do not plan to. My 27F husband 32M has a group of guys that he's been friends with since elementary school. After college, they all moved back to the same area, and several of them rented a house together until they started getting girlfriends and moving out. After they moved out, they still had guys' nights nearly every Friday until COVID happened. They started back up a few months ago after restrictions in our area relaxed, and the majority of the guys started getting tested regularly because of their jobs. There is one single guy, let's call him Ben, left in the group, and they meet at his house and hang out in the carport to drink a few beers and just shoot the SHT. I've never had a problem with my husband, Will, going guys' night. He gets off work at 5 and is usually home no later than 8 every Friday. He never drives home drunk, and if he ever does have a few too many, I don't mind going to pick him up. I feel like I should note that we live the farthest away from Ben's house, about 15 minutes. All the other guys live within walking distance of Ben. Usually I bake cookies or other snacks for him to take with him to share with the guys. I also don't mind driving the other guys home if needed. If we have plans or anything, he doesn't go. Since the guys' night has resumed, the other wives have been complaining about it. We're friendly, but none of us are really good friends like our husbands are. We've tried to have a girls' night while the guys have their night, but most of them have kids, and we really don't have anything in common outside of our husbands. It was just awkward. One of the guys, Alex, is married to Fran, and they have a 1-year-old baby. Fran has been particularly vocal about not wanting Alex to be out every Friday, as she wants help at home. The other wives backed her up and started a group chat, asking that we present a united front to cancel guys' nights. Here's where I may be the arsehole. I refuse to side with them. It gives me time to unwind after work, and it's become part of my routine. So when the other wives told their husbands that they didn't want guys' nights to happen anymore, I told Will that I didn't feel the same way, and he should keep going. He enjoys it, and he should get to see his friends regularly. So after the confrontation, the other guys started in with, "Why can't you be cool like Will's wife?" Or, "She lets him go. She even makes us cookies and picks him up," etc. Alex apparently made the comment, "I wish I was still single like Ben. He can do whatever he wants, and I miss that." All the other wives are pissed at me, saying if we had been a united front like they planned, guys' nights would either be cancelled or a less frequent occurrence once a month. So am I the arsehole? Edit. Some info to clear up some assumptions I'm seeing in the comments. All the wives work. I do not know if the moms get nights to themselves like the guys do. I do not know the details of their family dynamics. I do know all the wives have tried to have girls' nights amongst themselves, but it didn't work because we have nothing in common. I'm pretty sure all the wives have other friends, but I do not know when or how often they do things outside of the home. I send cookies and treats because I make them for my blog, not just to make them for the guys. I did not respond to the original messages in the group chat. I found out that the wives confronted the guys via my husband. Edit 2. Wow, I logged back in this morning, and I was completely overwhelmed. This got way more attention than I was expecting. Thank you for the awards. I've never gotten Reddit awards before. I showed this to my husband over breakfast this morning, and his initial response was, "So does this mean you're famous on Reddit? Lol." But we agreed to read through the comments together tonight and try to come up with a solution to help ease some tension in his friend group. Thank you for all your input, and I apologize if I don't respond to your messages or comments. I have a busy work day, and like I said, I was completely overwhelmed by the response. Relevant comments. Biobor. NTA. However, the other husband should do it every 2 weeks or monthly if they have a baby and no help. I mean, it's mostly an issue in the relationship between the girl complaining and her husband, not your issue at all, so definitely NTA. The guys comparing their wives to yours are arseholes. OP. I don't think they should have to stop having it every week. Ben loves to host and likes kicking off his weekend this way. He works a physically demanding job and only really sees his friends 1 day a week. The guys are free to skip a week or whatever. It's nothing formal. They literally sit outside in lawn chairs and drink beer. Jesus AW4-23. NTA. These guys and their wives all kind of stink. The wives try to recruit you, and then the guys throw you under the bus. Your husband should do what he wants, but tell him to leave you out of it. OP. He doesn't say I let him do anything. He knows this is a pet peeve of mine. We have an understanding that we are both adults and can do what we want. We are free to choose what we do, but we always respect the other person. The other guys just view it as me letting him do things. Will has never thrown me under the bus. Character Square 1065. NTA. But out of curiosity, do the other married guys all have kids? I can see how you enjoy your Friday evening of peace and quiet or time to hang out with your friends. But I'm guessing all of the other wives are pissed. They are home parenting alone every Friday night, while their husbands get to keep up their social lives. OP. 3 of the guys don't have kids, including my husband and Ben the single guy. 4 of the guys have kids. Alex and Fran have the youngest one, and the other kids are between the ages of 3-5. None of the wives had ever complained about guys' nights until after they resumed after COVID restrictions were lifted. I guess they got used to having them home on Fridays for a few months. Yoshtak. Since your husband is happy, you should be happy, and vice versa should the opportunity arise. You might explain your reasoning to the other wives just once, and then let it go, meaning just tell them, and do not open the door for arguments or rebuttals. OP. So I met my husband a while after they met theirs. A few of them had moved in together before I met him. It was just Will, Ben, and Alex still living in the original shared house. I've always been the most laid back of the women, even before they started having kids. Spur of the moment house party. Sure, I'll run to the liquor store and make cupcakes. Want to have the guys over to watch the fight on PPV? Whatever, I'll go out with my friends. A last-minute camping trip on a long weekend. I'm down. Let's go floating while we're at it. I think that's when they started sort of resenting me, because I honestly do not care, and I'm down for anything. And I get that kids bring more responsibility and a set schedule, which is why Will and I don't want any. I'm not going to put my foot down just because they don't feel the same way I do. Avocados from Mexico. I don't think you're the arsehole, but in some of your comments, you come across as an arsehole. Maybe I'm totally off base, and if so, I apologize, but I just get a very cool girl vibe from you constantly making the other women out to be shrill harpies while you don't own him and send baked goods every week. OP. I don't think they are shrill harpies at all. They're all intelligent women with careers. The ones with kids seem to be great moms. We just have nothing in common. And honestly, I don't own my husband. He's his own person, and I trust him enough to know that when he makes decisions, he has me and our relationship at the forefront of his mind. He feels the same about me. I respect that having children is hard work, which is why I don't want to do it. And I understand that the moms deserve their own time. However, I don't know what their social lives are like, so I can't be the judge of whether or not guys' nights are fair to them. I didn't engage in the original conversation because I didn't want to be involved at all. But somehow I got to be in the middle of it. And side note, I bake for my blog and for my own enjoyment. They just reaped the benefits. Update. A lot has happened in the last 3 weeks, but I'm going to try to condense it for the character limit. After reading all the replies together, Will and I decided it would be best for him to confront his friends, particularly Alex. He told them it wasn't cool to try to throw me under the bus with their wives, and that their wives, especially the ones with kids, need and deserve time to themselves too. According to the guys, all the wives are getting time to themselves without the kids each week, with Alex's wife Fran getting the most time out of anyone. She works until 4, but doesn't pick up their baby until 7 every day. She has a workout class 3 times a week and a standing girls' night every Wednesday, where she doesn't come home until 10 or 11 p.m. Alex picks up the baby on Wednesdays. Will and I held a brief, socially distant get-together in our yard to clear the air. I confirmed what the guys had said about the wives getting time, and the wives admitted that they do, whether it is for manicures, gym time, book club, etc. That's when I found out about Fran's social schedule. They then confirmed that all the guys were attentive and involved dads. He will later tell me he was sure his friends weren't complete SHT bags, but was glad to have the reassurance. Then it erupted into a fight between Alex and Fran, with Alex saying he only gets 1 hour a week to himself since he gets off at 7 and is home by 8. Fran broke down and started screaming that it wasn't the time spent with his friends, but his comments the following days. She then turned on me, literally pointed, and screamed that it was my fault. During the lockdown, for the first time in over 5 years, she didn't have to listen to Alex talk about me all thing weekend. I was shell-shocked and didn't know what to say. But Will jumped in and told her she could not talk to me like that, and she should probably leave before she said something she couldn't take back. Fran left, and Alex stayed. Afterwards, the other wives admitted they only agreed to the ultimatum after Fran relentlessly persuaded and pushed them into it. I have never seen this side of Fran before, so I had no idea she could be like this. Alex has been sleeping at Ben's house for almost 2 weeks now. He's still been picking up and spending time with the baby, but he doesn't sleep at his house. He says they're going to try therapy, and if that doesn't work, they'll probably separate. As much as I dislike the guy, I feel bad for him. Guy's night has resumed. I still send cookies, but Will says he doesn't bring me up and shuts the guys down if they try to talk about me. Relevant comments. Added info from OP. Just clarifying a few things. Fran never breastfed. I distinctly remember her making a big deal out of saying she would never do it while she was still pregnant. The baby is completely formula fed. Fran doesn't cook. Alex works in the restaurant industry and does the cooking or brings home food from the restaurant most days. I asked Will to specifically ask Alex about household chores, and they have a cleaning lady that comes twice a week. OP on if Alex has a crush on her. Honestly, I've never picked up a vibe that Alex has a crush on me. In fact, I've never really gotten the sense that he even likes me that much at all. When I met Will, I was still in college, and he would constantly make cracks about Will robbing the cradle or make fun of me for trying to get a good picture of the two of us for Instagram when we'd be out as a group, just stuff like that. Since he was one of Will's best friends, I tolerated him the best I could. Later, we find out we have similar tastes in movies, music, and books. We can generally be civil when we're talking about that stuff, so that's all we really talk about if we have to be around each other. Since he's in the restaurant industry, he's interested in my baking blog. I still don't really like the guy, but we can have a conversation when we need to. Occasionally, we will text each other book recommendations or look up an artist's new album. But that's it. OP on Alex's work schedule. According to my husband, on the days Alex only has to open the restaurant, he goes in at 9 a.m. and drops the baby off with grandma. On days when he has to supervise food prep or do inventory, he goes in at 6 a.m. and Fran takes the baby to grandma. So 3 days a week at 9, 3 days a week at 6. And yes, Alex gets Saturdays off, but works Sundays. Fran gets Saturdays and Sundays off work, but grandma has the baby Monday, Friday, and on Sunday. I started asking Will detailed questions about them after my original post because I didn't have answers to a lot of the questions that were being asked. That's how I found out about the biweekly house cleaner, the work schedules, etc. I wanted as much information before I made my update post. Thank you for watching the video.